Don't be worried. I beat it.
Hell yeah, how's it going? Okay, so we got Kate, we got Lisa, we got Anna, we have Isabella, we have Kimari here on the vegan team, we have Guillermo, we have Megg Gawat. So we're gonna do a veganism versus carnism debate. The proposition on the table is that veganism is a moral obligation. So my position is simple. I think veganism is simply a logical extension of the idea of human rights. I believe that we already share common ground in believing that humans deserve basic rights not to be holocausted, enslaved, stabbed to death for inessential shit such as sandwiches. But you girls presumably think it's okay to do that to innocent animals. So I just have a question for you guys. Like, if obviously I presumably you will be against like paying for human meat, like going to to somebody and say to that person, kill this person for human meat. Presumably you would be against that, but you're not against like killing innocent like pigs, chickens, cows for meat. So my question would be like, what's true of animals that if it was true of humans would justify that same kind of thing to in the human context? Like let's say like in other words, what's the trait that's the morally significant trait difference between animals and humans that justifies doing that to animals but not to humans. I've always failed to understand what's the morally significant difference. I don't think there's a morally significant difference. I think animals matter morally. They're like children, like they're innocent beings that deserve moral consideration, deserve like a basic extension of rights. So that's my position. I'll pass it over to one member of this group. Whose turn is it? You want to start, Lisa? So by the way, to make it clear, my question is this: like, what's true of animals that if it was true of humans would justify doing that same sort of thing to humans, in your guys' view? Whose turn is it?
I can speak. You want to speak? Okay.
Okay. Okay. I just want to say that I love animals. I'm an animal lover. I don't wish harm upon them. I think that they are creatures of the earth. We're equally allowed to be on this earth as they are, and I think it's unfair, but it is a fact that we have dominated the planet. You know, we're an evolved species. Like we inherited this world where we happen to be in control of the world, in control of nature. You know, that's just a fact of life. And however different we wish it could be, that's just it. And we happened to eat meat to survive. And as someone who cares deeply about animals, like, it's not like when I eat a piece of steak, I'm hoping to inflict pain on a cow, or I'm thinking about that. And it's upsetting to me that that is how life is. But, you know, we need to sustain ourselves. We need to grow. We need to get all the nutrients we can to live and to be the most productive versions of ourselves. Can I pass it off to someone? How does this work?
If you want to.
Should I pass it off to my own team?
Yes, you should. At least one.
I have a question.
Question.
Okay, Okay, please go ahead.
Sure. So I just don't see how that answers my question. That like, what is it that's true of animals that if it was true of humans would justify holocausting humans for hamburgers? I just don't understand what's that symmetry breaker, that morally significant difference between animals and humans that justifies doing that to them but not to us. If you have a trait in mind.
I don't think there's a particular trait. I just think that in the 21st century, we live in a world, like, maybe there's an alternate reality where pigs are like Animal Farm, like pigs are in charge of the world and they eat humans for fun. Like, this is just the world that we inherited, you know? It's not like it's an intentional, we want to commit Holocaust against them. It's just the way that society is structured, where we eat animal meat to sustain ourselves and to have nutrition and to have vitamins. And we've evolved in a way where our body needs to have meat. We need the vitamins. And if we take away that vitamin, you know, there are negative consequences. And it is, you know, that's just... Let me finish.
Isabella, if you want to take, you can take them.
It's your choice.
If you don't want to, it's your choice right now.
Can I pass it off to someone on my own team?
No, you should split. Sorry. You should finish your speech and then pass it over to someone.
Okay.
I'll let it.
Let me understand your question one more time, because I feel like I'm a little
No,
bit.
this is not allowed.
Okay, sorry.
Repeating the question is not allowed.
I apologize.
No, she didn't understand the question. Why wouldn't it be?
No, I understand
This
the
is not
question.
allowed.
I feel like I don't want to get into the semantics of it. Like I'm just saying what I think about how we live, and I don't think that anyone. I wouldn't call it comparable to a Holocaust because, as much as I love animals, I don't think they're sentient beings, and I think that that's
Can I
just.
define it really quick?
No.
Define the word Holocaust.
If she allows.
I say.
But like you should defining Holocaust. You should do it in your speech.
Yeah.
If she wants to, it's up to you, right? It's up to her.
I'm just gonna give my the dictionary definition of Holocaust.
I don't think we should keep it too close to semantics because I think that will make this discussion endless, and I think that semantics are important, but I think that we can get stuck in that, and I just don't think
I
that's.
just want to share my definition really quick.
I don't know.
No, only.
I don't think so. I don't.
If you want.
That's not what I want, but that's just my perspective. So and that's what this is about. This is about sharing perspectives. And can I pass it off to someone?
There too.
Okay, I'm gonna pass it off to someone who has this one.
Thank you.
Yeah, so just to reiterate and to expand a little bit upon Heri's point, essentially what he's really trying to say is that there's fundamentally going to be no morally relevant difference between non-human animals and animals that's going to justify the difference in treatment, essentially. Like, humans and animals, both of them, we may be different and we may also be similar, but it's very important to keep in mind that we're different in the ways that don't matter, but we're similar in the ways that do matter. So, for example, if someone were to stab a cow, they're going to feel that pain, the cow themselves, because they're sentient and they're capable of experiencing that pain. The same would apply to someone like me or anybody here. If anyone were to get stabbed, we would actually feel that. Fundamentally, there's going to be no morally relevant difference between the two. And to make it a little bit more easier to just expand upon a little bit on this point is what trait or set of traits is found in humans, or you can look at it the other way around. So what trait or set of traits is found in animals that humans lack, that because animals possess those specific traits, that therefore justifies a difference in treatment. So if we were to, what is it that's in animals that because animals possess that it's therefore okay to inflict that suffering, to inflict that harm upon them, to turn their body into a cheeseburger?
Thank you. Thank you, the government team. Okay, so I'm from the opposite team, and I would like to give a more statement about what that means. What vegan is more obligatory. Why do we talk about the comparison of the person, of the human, and the animal? Of course, as you said, we're similar in some way, we're different in some way. Nobody said that, but as my partner already says, this is historically like that. The human is on the top and the animal is on the down. Firstly, I would like also to give more statement and expressive statement of my partner that animal brings you a lot of useful things which you need your body to literally function for. First of all, I want to share the story, very cool story of my uncle. No, sorry, uncle. I'm sorry, my English. Aunt from Russia who couldn't get pregnant because she was vegan. She was vegan for 10 years. She decided to everything stop or her being she decided to not eat animals. She wanted to be morally and stuff. But people told her doctors told her that, girl, this is not going to be good for you. This may not be good because veganism is not for everyone. Let's fucking admit that. Because veganism is not for everyone. Our organisms are very, very, very different. Okay, I don't want to say that, oh my gosh, no, it can be good for anyone, it can be good for someone, but it can be also be bad for someone. Our organisms are different. Yes. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so when you're saying something like veganism is not for everyone, you're already getting into the empirical territory. You're making an empirical claim right there that there's some people that can't be vegan for some reason. And I like to point, in this case, to empirical evidence, because we're talking about empirics in this case. Like the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, they came to according to all the evidence that plant-based diets not only are nutritionally adequate throughout all stages of the life cycle, they are they provide health benefits against deadly diseases like heart disease and shit like that. It's completely not true that there's people need all essential nutrients that we need to survive our plants and animal products. In plants, The only one that's not found in plants naturally is vitamin B12. We can just take a supplement instead of stabbing somebody to death. But again, veganism is not just a diet, so we're not talking about just what we eat, is what we wear, stuff like that.
It's too much. This is not how it works. I literally beat Harvard. I can tell. So basically, I want to say that you forget about things that biology, there's also biology in our body. We all need different things. Some people are allergic to someone, but someone are not. This is what I wanted to say about my aunt from Russia. She was vegan for 10 years, but then she decided to drop that. No, she first decided to get pregnant. She couldn't. Her doctors may said that like, it's maybe because of veganism, and then she even decided to drop that. She couldn't get pregnant for a lot of years, and all of the doctors, she's been to US to get that. She's been everywhere in the world. She's very rich, but you know what? She still couldn't get pregnant because for fucking 10 years she didn't get the certain amount of vitamins which you can get only from animals, because this is the way our organism functions. You know why? Stop. Now I'm not talking pain of POP. Because this is the way, like, about evolution, right? I thought you all know. Evolutionary, it's, I don't know, unfortunately or fortunately, our organisms work in a way we need animals, because our parents ate animals, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, and like, 1,000 years ago, people started eating animals, and our organism started to be applicable for animals, more for animals, not for only planty food. We need animals. I'm not gonna say that like veganism is not gonna be like after yes, tomorrow, but I feel like not right now. Maybe in 20 years, maybe in 30 years, but for now, our organisms are for animals. We need animals to survive, because that's the way our organism functions. Because, as I already said, our great-grandparents who ate animals to survive, because that's what the only food which we could eat, in their point of that. I don't know, maybe that if they were eating bananas, our organism would be more applicable for bananas and we would eat them more. But as they have eaten that, our organism started to function for animals. So that's the way our organism works. Thank you very much.
All right, I want to first respond to EG, sort of make like a parody of her version, what she said. So I like dogs, but whenever I go to the store and like buy dog meat, I don't want to hurt any dogs, but I have to, because this is the society we live in. I have no choice but to eat dog meat. I can't like not buy it. Other people do it, and this is the society we live in. I don't have any options but to eat dogs, right? This is what we have. But I like them, and I don't want to cause any pain. I hate the idea of hurting any dogs or any animals, but this is just how it is. Like, there's no choice, right? And also, I want to go over her point with saying we have evolved to eat animals. Like, I would say for most of our biology, actually we haven't, because, for example, our hands, like our closest relatives are primates, they have hands as well, and they don't eat animal products, right? And then we have our eyes that can see in color.
But do you think that
He hasn't given permission.
So our eyes.
You give permission.
No, let me keep going. So like our eyes can see in color, like other animals can't see in color. They can only see in like black and white, and because they're not evolved to do that. Other animals that eat plants, they can see in color because we evolved to distinguish different like fruits and vegetables and stuff. So we also sleep in the morning. Other creatures like hunt at night. They sleep at night. They're awake at night, so they eat animals at night. But humans sleep in the morning. And I think humans are adverse to hurting animals as well. Like, even when I used to eat meat, like whenever I saw any animal, like my first instinct wasn't to kill them and like eat their body. And like I've seen dead animals too, and like when I looked at an animal, I didn't ever want to just go up to it and eat it. Like, that never happened, even when I eat meat. And like I had a family that had a farm. They like raised pigs and other animals. I've seen them killed in front of me, and like chickens, and I was disgusted by it, And then another thing is their bodies are tasteless without cooking and without seasoning, usually from vegan ingredients. So if you just take a piece of flesh and like you try to eat it, it doesn't taste like anything. Like we're not salivating at the sight of a dead animal, and also it smells bad to us. It's not like, oh, this like if we look at a fruit that has an aroma, that has a good smell, and we're like, okay, we want to eat this, and we don't even need to cook it or do any processing. You can just eat it like that. But for meat, you gotta use tools to kill an animal. Like we don't have any like claws or sharp teeth. We don't have any biological adaptations to kill an animal with our bare hands, and like yeah, like we need tools to skin them and like to kill them, and then we need tools to open up their body because we can't just eat their body like that. Like if we see an animal and they're just there, you can't just go up to it and start eating it. You got to use like a tool, like a knife or a rock or something to get. I don't doubt that historically our ancestors did eat meat, but like there were also ancestors that didn't. Like depending on what article you find, there's like articles that say like we were predominantly vegetarian in our past, and also like there's definitely cultures that have never like that haven't eaten meat for thousands of years. Like in India, for example, they don't eat, a lot of them. The population estimated, like I don't want to go into percentages, but like 30% to like half of the population don't eat meat. So like that's a lot of thousands of years of not eating animals. And what else? Yeah, so I think humans are also averse to like killing an animal. Like we don't want to go up to one and kill one. Like evolutionary, like I don't think we are meant to eat meat. And the thing is, we also have a choice in our daily options. Like we don't have to eat animals, like right? Like we don't have to buy any dog meat or cow meat or chicken meat. Like we have an option to not do that. Like it's not like it's forced upon us. And like I haven't bought any of those products in like 11 years. Actually, like I became vegan before I started working, so I never went to like the meat section and ever bought any like meat or anything.
Almost 12 years vegan.
Yeah, I never bought any meat myself because like I didn't see any point in it. You know, like we have the option to do that every day. It's not like we can stop for like a month or whatever, but like I did that for 11 plus years, so it's not like something. It's not like something that's impossible for people to do. Like anybody has that option and ability, in my opinion. And
May I speak? No, no, no,
Somebody
no,
else
no,
is
no, no, no,
turning
no, 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 no.
Oh, okay.
But you should have taken one POV. You wrote.
Is it necessary to
Yes.
take a question?
Yes, if someone answers, you have to take that. If someone tries to get a question,
So
you
you-
have to take that.
No,
So you know
then-
what we
then
can
have a
do?
question.
Ask the
okay, you can ask the question.
Ask
Yeah.
the question.
Ask the question.
Okay, let me think. I wasn't planning to ask a
Ask
question.
question and then he
That's
will
why
answer.
you raised the hand.
But
Okay, no, the
please-
question
but
was to
please
just
be very fast
interact.
and you be very fast in answering because this is not the rule.
Okay, well, I feel a bit put on the spot. I wasn't planning to ask a question, but I think what you said about the parody of eating dog meat, which is obviously very provocative because as a Western society, dogs are domesticated and that is something that is unimaginable to us. But if we look at other societies that do eat dog meat, that comes out of necessity and out of survival. And, looking at history, eating meat is survival. And stop?
Yeah, a bit more and stop. Go.
Yeah,
Okay,
we didn't hear a question.
right.
But like you cannot repeat that.
I cannot repeat that.
No,
Well,
question repeating is not allowed. If you're not repeating, you're not answering. So if you didn't hear, you don't answering.
okay. Well, I don't know what to say.
That's
So,
fair
like-
that you keep the rules fair even for your team. I like that.
So like so the culture that do eat dog meat, it's not even necessary for them either. Like there's like you're talking about Chinese, for example, like that Buddhist cultures that haven't eaten meat in like thousands of years as well. Like they're also some of them are also very strict, in not eating animals in their temples and everything. So like it's not a requirement for any of those societies that eat dogs to breed dogs, to kill dogs. Just like we don't have any need in Western society to breed cows, breed chickens, or anything. Like it's not at all necessary. Like society would still be here if we did not do that.
That's it. Thank you for your speech. No, it was his speech. You don't look too much for one face. Okay. Thanks for government team and opposite team comes.
Okay, I want to say that I do respect animals, and I think that
Be close to the mic so it
yeah, I think I do respect animals, and I have nothing against them. But sometimes people don't have a choice, and there have been a lot of me personally, like my grandparents, they went through like Holocaust in Ukraine in the 20th century, whatever, and they couldn't eat Like they had nothing to eat. They if it's like life or death situation, they ate what they could. And I think it's important to, like, I would say that life, it's like the number one priority for everyone, right? If you're like in the situation that you have nothing to eat, you eat everything and you don't care what it is. With either it's like a dog meat or like a plant. And you can't eat plants because like people die from like, you can't eat grass, right? Like, and when a government doesn't have anything, like they've taken all your land, you can plant seeds. You don't have anything. You just like whatever happens on your street. And what is like moral obligation when you, what kind of morals do you have when there is like Holocaust and war and you have nothing to eat? You don't think about morals. But that's just my point. Yeah, sure, whatever. Whoever wants to ask a question.
Yeah, so I like that she was actually the only one from your team to actually name a trait right there, which was it was necessity in this case.
I'm sorry, but you cannot like tell. I like that. Be please consistent about your questions.
No, I just wanted to congratulate the
Because
only person to answer my
it's
question. Yeah, so my question is this: like, if the trait is necessity, if you were in a survival situation, you were like, let's say, the only thing you had to eat was other humans, would you say it would be morally justified to stab an innocent human and eat that person, or no? And if the answer is no, then that would be a contradiction. Necessity
Why do you
wouldn't
answer?
justify it.
Can we answer our question?
She's answering. It's her.
No.
It's your
Okay.
speech, girl.
I think in your situation, when you say like when there are only people, if there is no other choice, like if people don't eat, the humanity will die. Like sooner or later, people will start to eat people in that case scenario. I'm sorry to do that, but someone like, because people care about themselves, and in order to live they will do anything. They will kill millions of people right now during the war because they want just the piece of land. And when there is like war situation, 1000%, it was like I want to live or die. Of course I want to live, like everybody wants to live, right? Yeah, and like and if there's like only people there,
The way she understood the question. Sorry to interrupt that, but you cannot like fucking decide if she answers
no,
your question.
no,
or
you
not.
ask
It's
like
not
a
your
hypothetical
role.
question.
Let
If there
God
would,
decide.
if the only choice
Be
would be like
consistent
eating
with
humans,
your
right?
role.
Yes or no? Would it be justified to eat stab your
She answered. She said,
human? And
Yeah, I think like
it would be justified.
"You cannot
It-
speak if she doesn't allow you in your fucking speech." Please remember the rules.
It depends
It's
on
so
people.
simple.
It depends. Like me personally,
Ukrainian girls
like me personally, like it
They're
depends on
rules.
people.
Rules.
It depends on people. Me personally, I wouldn't, but someone will, because someone has more like bravery or whatever. I don't care, but someone will not die because they don't want to die, and I don't care. Like someone who has like higher like authority over you will kill. Like I don't know.
You're done. Thank you. Thank you, the opposite team. The microphone goes to the guy who haven't spoken. You haven't? You can go.
I think I just wanna add a simple, quick question. How long does a person take to die?
That's your
Um,
speech. The only question.
No, wait.
I'm just adding.
No, you should do speech.
no.
No, I'm not interrupting. You should give speech.
That's
She
actually
gave the
true.
speech.
That's
This
actually
is
You're
a speech,
giving the
man.
speech
This
right
is a
now.
speech.
not a question.
Okay.
It's
You're
not a
giving the
speech.
speech right
You're
now.
not replying to anyone. You're making your own
Okay.
statements.
You're done with your speech.
Take the opportunity.
Oh no. I'm following the rules.
Yes.
You know.
I didn't know that was like. No.
Just defend the animals, bro. It's your turn.
Yeah, I was just saying like. I don't know, cause maybe skip it, cause I was just gonna add something, but not really
No,
like a
it's your turn to
speech.
speech. You have to give a speech.
You have to give a speech.
You have to talk.
I wasn't gonna.
Everyone gets a turn.
Yeah, but I wasn't prepared to like actually
Yeah, but it's
say
the
a.
rules that we all accepted at the beginning.
There's no one.
Yeah.
No
This
one's
is not
prepared.
my rules.
Everyone's
This is
impromptu.
fucking TV's
It can be
rules.
very simple and
There's
short.
no
You
Your
preparation.
own idiosyncratic rules. Yeah.
You ask, you the ask. You know what that means? No. Sorry.
Yeah.
just defend animals, just talk about being against animal cruelty. Blah, blah.
So basically, everyone has. Let me see what I say. You girls think that we're gonna have different perspectives of this topic, but you might end up seeing that we actually have the same values. So it doesn't matter what perspective you have, because you guys are humans, we are humans as well, but you guys are humans oppressors. We're representing the faces of animals. We're not representing our own human faces. We're representing the screaming cows, the screaming chickens, screaming pigs, screaming turkeys, screaming. Actually, in this case, this animal doesn't scream, but all the sea animals. Yeah, just we're representing the animals. We're not even representing ourselves because we're trying to speak for them, not for our own reasons. It's for the animals' reasons, not for our own. So
We take a question.
yeah. So one thing.
You can continue talking after
Yeah.
the question.
So yeah, if you're saying we just have different perspectives, no, I don't think it's different perspectives. It's just a difference of values, not perspective.
Actions.
Exactly, your actions. It's not a different.
So your statement is we're representing animals, but how about that animals who were grown by people to actually eat? You say that you represent their use. But how you can represent like the animals? There are animals who were grown to be eaten. How you can represent their use?
Raised to be eaten?
Yes.
I think she's referring to animals that were bred to be eaten or like raised.
How you represent that? How you represent their view?
Like the mass breeding of animals that are just created for slaughter.
Well, for once, I'm not paying any money to it. I'm not. I'm representing the. I'm actually stopping the supply and demand of continuing to breed all these animals because I don't know if you know, but the reason we are breeding them because we are willing to pay for it. So I guess, what do you think about that? Like, how do we suggest we stop some like huge amount of breeding animals if we continue to pay money? If we want to make that stop, we gotta stop the money and maybe buy something else, like plants that are not sentient. Animals are.
Your speech? You're done?
At the moment, I guess.
Thank you. The opposite team.
Okay.
And the last person speaking, and the videos are where?
As mentioned before several times, we're not saying that killing animals is a good thing. We're saying that it is. For many people, this is the only way to keep their like bodies healthy. But I want to mention one more thing. Anna was talking about war in her country. 2 years ago, the war started in Ukraine, and people they just like can't eat anything except for animals. Sometimes you don't have a choice. But there is one more thing that when you're at war, the only thing that remains is the culture. And this is the thing that people hold on to because the culture represents the people, the certain country. When we travel somewhere, like when we travel to Puerto Rico, we think about food. We think about the fact that, oh, we need to try local food. And of course, it's a choice of every person. Like you can try whatever food you want. It's not like you always need to eat meat, like wherever you go. It's not about that. But it's about the fact that in many cultures, in my culture, in the Ukrainian culture, meat is basically dishes with meat is a part of the culture, and it's your choice whether you eat it or not. But if you want to just like take away someone's culture, this is not right. Like you can't just like take a part of
a culture of a certain nation and say that, oh, like we're not gonna, like we don't like your culture, because basically like saying this means like, oh, we don't like your culture.
You can take any other question.
Yeah, so she actually named a trait there. It was a tradition, culture. So would you have that same attitude in the human context? Let's say it was part of your culture. You were brought up your whole life eating dogs or eating humans, eating baby humans. Let's say a race of humans was brought into existence and systematically slaughtered for food. Would you have that same attitude where you would be like, no, like it's our choice to like respect our culture. It's okay, something being cultural makes it okay. So if that was your culture, to eat humans, would it be okay? And if not, that would entail logical contradiction. It wouldn't be what justifies it.
Okay, like, for example, I don't respect like the cultures where people eat dogs, for example, because for me this is unacceptable. But I will not, like, if someone wants to do it, I will not say that, oh, you should not do it, because I think this is a choice of a certain person. So I will still like respect this culture, but not like necessarily like it. But like eating animals, we know that this is like obviously not right. But again, if there was like a certain country somewhere in the world where they would do it, well, I can't fix that. This is their culture. So I'm not doing it. This is not my choice. But I need to respect the traditions of any people in the world.
You can either take question or you cannot take that.
Yeah, so let's say my culture is fine with like eating, um, you know what, it's similar.
Yeah, I'll
It's
go.
a similar idea.
So to add more onto your point relating to culture, if we look at many different cultures, so for example, I'm African, and a very common practice that happens within the western parts of Africa is female genital mutilation. But we all know that that's wrong when it comes to female genital mutilation, because that's a cultural thing. Culture doesn't necessarily should be the dictating factor when it comes to morals and ethics, because if you look at the past of what humans have done to other humans or non-human animals, for example, what's already happening right now, it's being used as a cultural tradition, and that's one of the biggest justifications that's currently being used for the consumption of eating animals. So I can give you an example such as like slavery, the Holocaust. These were all very common cultural practices. It used to be moral within those aspects of those cultures during that time, but we realized that just because that was happening a long time ago, that doesn't necessarily dictate and she should be the determining factor of whether or not it's even okay, because we as a human society have progressed when it comes to our cultures and traditions.
Too much, sorry, it's too much of beautiful A. Beautiful A, so you could know it's 50 seconds.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
You're answering, it's your question.
Okay, well, you didn't finish your speech in 50 seconds, so
didn't know it was 50 seconds.
Bro, literally,
It's a-
you could guess. Like, that's a question, it cannot be long.
like he didn't finish the statement. But as I said, you were saying about Africa, about your culture, and you were saying that this is not right, obviously, but this is people's culture and we can fix that. Right. I'm just saying that, for example, many countries like Russia has, Ukraine has, or like many post-Soviet countries. I can speak like about post-Soviet countries because this is where I'm from. But our culture is defined by the food we eat, and you just can't take it away from us. You just can't do it. And if a certain person from our culture doesn't want to get rid of their traditions, this is right, because when traditions are dead, the country is dead. The country is dead, and then like there's nothing remaining of the country.
Sorry, I think this is enough. She was speaking a lot and we were taking like, okay, so thanks for the debate. This is enough. Like, everyone spoke at least once. We got questions. Let's clap ourselves. Shake hands. Thank you. Thank you, good debate. Thank you, good debate. Thank you, good debate. Congrats.
Good face debating, right?
Где я бы написала?
I need to use the bathroom.
Sure, bro.
Is the bathroom